Hi guys, AzureAce here and welcome back to another installment to my Kingdom Hearts Lore 101 series where I talk about beginner and advanced pieces of the Kingdom Hearts lore so that newcomers to the franchise can get up to speed, as well as for veterans of the series that may learn something new that they didn't already know. I hope to bring both newcomers and veterans together in the run up to Kingdom Hearts 3. On today's Lore 101, I'll be talking about something not so much directly affiliated with the plot of the games, but something more on the did you know side of things, which I'm going to start doing to increase the longevity of this series, with today's episode being, where do the characters' names originate from? Well, grab your keyblades and get ready because it's time to dive into the heart of this video. There are a lot of interesting originations of the names of our beloved characters that span all sorts of different cultural backgrounds, from Japanese to Latin to even Norse mythology. So with that being said, without further ado, it's time to get into the names and where they originate from. First of all, I think it's best to start with our most important characters, our Destiny Islands trio, Sora, Riku and Kairi, as they're the ones that the majority of people know. Sora is a direct Japanese translation to Sky, which actually links up very nicely with his past trio counterpart, Ventus, whose name is actually Latin for wind. This connection is shown throughout the entire Destiny Islands and Wayfinder trios, with Riku being a direct Japanese translation to land, with Terra's name being Latin for earth, and finally Kairi, whose name is a direct Japanese translation to sea, with Aqua's name being Latin for water. This shows the heavy connection to these two trios and how closely connected they are together. The next three we have are huge characters of Birth by Sleep, Vanitas, Master Xehanort and Master Ericus. Vanitas is an interesting one as it's derived from the Latin word vanitate, meaning vanity or emptiness, to show how hollow he is inside and that he is of pure darkness and negative emotions coming from Ventus, whose name he also plays off of. Xehanort, on the other hand, is a weird one because it isn't based off of any soul culture or background and is instead based off of two words plus a letter, an anagram. If you take Xehanort and rearrange the letters, you will eventually get Nohar as well as the letter X, which is shown in the endgame of Birth by Sleep Final Mix as you fight a boss called Nohar in the Mirage Arena mission Peering into Darkness, which is the Keyblade armor of Xehanort. The other popular anagram for Xehanort's name is another with an X. And the final one, Ericus, who is also, like Xehanort, not linked directly to any specific cultural background, but instead is just a simple anagram of Square to give a little nod to Square Enix, developers behind the Kingdom Hearts series. Now we get into the Kingdom Hearts key characters, as we have an abundance of names that have interesting originations here. First off, we have Ephemera and Skuld, our players' two friends, as it were. Ephemera is derived from the word ephemera, which has Greek roots meaning things lasting no more than a day. It also means short-lived and transitory, relating to his role in Key, where he does disappear for quite a long time and as of this recording has not returned in Key. The other one we have is Skuld, whose name relates to one of the three Norns in Norse mythology. Skuld was a Valkyrie whose job was to decide the fates of people and to deal with the future, possibly relating to her visions of the final climactic battle of Key that will soon be upon us, the Keyblade War. And finally, we have our five foretellers, Ava, Envy, Ira, Aced and Gula, as well as the recently revealed sixth apprentice, Luxu. The names of the five foretellers are perhaps the most interesting of them all, in my opinion, as they take after the seven deadly sins, otherwise known as the cardinal sins or capital vices, lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy and pride. First is Master Ava, whose name is derived from the Latin word avarita, or the deadly sin greed, relating to her incessant want for her own goals of stopping the Keyblade War and sending the Keyblade wielders to the realm of Unchained. Next is Master Envy, whose name is derived from the Latin word invidia, or the deadly sin envy, relating to her constant reluctance to understand Aced's way of thinking and her desire to stop Aced from spreading that way of thinking. Next is Master Ira, whose name is derived from the Latin word ira, or the deadly sin wrath. relating to his impatience and his feud with Aced. Next is Master Aced, whose name is derived from the Latin word acedia, or the deadly sin sloth, relating to his absence of any use of the 7 gifts of grace: wisdom, understanding, knowledge, piety, counsel, fortitude, and fear of the Lord when interacting with his fellow foretellers. Next is Master Gula, whose name is derived from the Latin word gula, or the deadly sin gluttony, relating to his overindulgent attitude towards the plans of Eva in the event of the Keyblade War. And finally, we have our mysterious 6th apprentice, Luxu, whose name is derived from the Latin word luxuria, or the deadly sin lust, relating to his lustful outlook to see what lays beyond the Keyblade War. This does leave out one final deadly sin, pride, with the Latin translation superbia, so maybe that is what the Master of Masters falls under, who knows. But that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this Lore 101. This is one of my favourite I have made so far. I hope you guys really enjoyed it because I've done a lot of research for this, but nevertheless, I have been AzureAce. If you guys liked this video, please leave a like, comment your thoughts, share this amongst your friends, and subscribe to join the Azure Army today. Stay awesome, guys. Thank you.